Let's take it a step even further, right? So let's say that this isn't for games and you don't need a cycle per se. You need it to run in space. And then at a certain point, he's going to do something after a certain amount of steps. So there's a few things using some tricks from Maya and like some tricks from Animbot, or sorry, from tools from Animbot. You can have him move forward in space pretty easily. So one thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to select his right foot and I'm going to look at his translate Z curve. And I want to make sure that whenever his foot is on the ground, it's traveling along the ground and backward, pushing him and accelerating him at a constant rate, right? Constant meaning linear. So we can see that he's making contact here and he pretty much lifts his foot right here. So between these 4 frames. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to delete this, make these linear, and that way when he's on the ground, his rate of acceleration is constant. And then I'm going to do the same to his other foot. Let's see, translate Z. Goes from here. And linear. Great. So if we know that his rate of acceleration is linear across these 4 frames, we can use that exact info. So I'm going to copy these 2 keys, and then I'm going to paste it onto his world controller under translate Z. And I'm just going to paste the keys. And this is just normal Maya functions, right? So I want to make sure that he's going to be moving forward. You can see my Z curve is actually decreasing, right? It's going into negative numbers, which is probably going to make him go downward. We can see that there. So I'm going to select this, and then I'm going to scale from my neighbor left. It'll flip my curve to the exact opposite. Make this linear. Oh, I'm sorry. Spline. I believe that's spline. I'm sorry, I forget the names of it sometimes. And I'm going to use a cycle with offset, both forward and backward. So now it's going to incrementally continue at the rate that I've set between these 4 keys. And now that I know, though, that they're at the same rate that the foot is traveling along the ground, he's going to be running forward. And now that I know this is a cycle, let's say 60 frames. That I did not have those cycling. Cycle. There we go. So now we have him running across the scene, and if you notice, his feet aren't sliding. Great. That's awesome, right? Let's save it here. But let's say after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? On frame 27, we want to have him do something else aside from running. Like he'll jump up and do something, right? So if we set a key here, that's going to be no bueno for our cycle. You can see the keys of the cycle actually end around frame 11, 12, 13, something like that. So if we put a key here, our cycle goes out the window. So what we're going to want to do, also to add to that, sorry, it's not necessarily great practice to have these world controls travel underneath your character to kind of offset or counter animate the foot and the feet sliding. So if we know that up to frame 27, we're going to want him to do something else here, what we can do is we can use Animbot to record the animation in its world space, regardless of its hierarchy. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to chop my timeline to 0 to 27, and I'm going to use the XForm world space tool. This is great. It may be, it could be thought of as like the animation recorder tool. I know a lot of people refer to it as that. But what it does, it's basically going to record it being the controllers. It's going to record the controllers information in space, in like XForm space, like regardless of any hierarchy or anything. And we're going to be able to record that information, copy that information, and kind of put it back onto those controllers. So I'll select my timeline, I'll right click, and then I'll copy XForm world space playback range. So that's done. And then now for good measure, I don't think you have to do this, but I always do. I'm going to delete those keys. I'm going to delete this key as well, or those keys, excuse me, and then select these, and then select that timeline again, and paste XForm world space big frame. So now I have my character running in space without the world controller. And then now at this point, let's say for, oh, actually I have the cycle still on. It's fine, but say, there we go. Cool. Let's say at frame 27, we want him to do a jump. So really quickly, the way I like to do it is after that, and let's say up. Okay, cool. But you can see they're using Animbot. You know, some tips and tricks here and there in Maya. I was able to repurpose an asset that's onto a totally different character, a totally different style, and save lots of time doing it. But that pretty much wraps up this this demo. I hope you found it insightful, helpful, useful. Any of the fulls. Yeah, stay safe, be well, and keep on animating.